How do you pronounce Genghis Khan? Like, is it how I just said it, or is it something else? Here's a breakdown of the different pronunciations and where they come from. The first thing to clarify is that his birth name just wasn't any of those pronunciations. Like, it's a completely different name. He was originally called something like Temujin, and then he later adopted the new title. It's relevant to point this out because the name that we all know him by, especially the Khan part, is like a title. Like King Louis XIV of France took the title Le Roi Soleil, but people don't usually feel the need to pronounce that. There's differences, of course, but let's get into the actual pronunciation of Genghis or Chinggis or whatever. Temujin took this title after his rise to power, and it was originally pronounced something more like Genghis Khan. So why the heck do so many people say Genghis Khan? Well, before making it to English, the name passed through both Persian and Arabic. And somewhere along the line, that initial ch got reinterpreted as a j. So like Genghis instead of Chinggis. And nobody's 100% clear on this next part, but you know how in the word German that GE makes the j sound? That GE spelling was eventually how the name got represented in English. But then it got confusing because not every word that starts with GE is pronounced as a j in English. For instance, get or gecko. And somehow the confusion led to the GE being pronounced as a ge instead of a j. Alright, so it sounds like Genghis Khan is the original pronunciation, so let's all switch to that, right? Well, I don't really have strong opinions here, but I don't think it's that easy of a call to make. First of all, the ch in Khan is just not an English sound. It's the reason we pronounce Bach as Bach and Loch as Loch. Advocating for all English speakers to just learn the voiceless velar fricative is kind of just like asking them all to roll their R's whenever they say burrito. So I think it's pretty understandable that people would just continue approximating Khan as Khan. However, I will say Genghis is pretty far from Chinggis. And like Genghis Khan is entirely pronounceable for an English speaker. But obviously people aren't really used to that pronunciation, and also we'd have to change the spelling to make sure people know it's D voice. I'm not saying it's impossible. For instance, English speakers used to pronounce Beijing as Peking, but then they all changed that. So like clearly you can convince everybody to change the pronunciation for some stuff. And I actually am cool with that, but I'm curious what people's opinions are on where we should draw the line. Like, should we pronounce Jesus as Yeshua or Caesar as Caesar? What exactly constitutes a valid pronunciation of a historical name? Or like, should we use translated or untranslated historical titles? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.